What's up, heroes? Mike here, and after Ubisoft's Forward event yesterday, I have 17 things you need to know about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But before I get into that, please, if you're new here and you like this, subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss nothing on the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and also love to hear from you. Comment below some feedback, whether you're looking forward to this game or not, hate it, love it, all that good stuff. So, let's start with number 1, story. From what little we do know so far, players will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England as Ivor, who can be male or female. On top of that, your goal is to build up your settlement by forging alliances, doing raids for resources, and more, due to Norway not being a safe place to live anymore. Number 2, settlement. A big key feature of the game that is central to the larger gameplay loop. This is settlements which will have players returning to it and constantly improving upon it throughout their journey of the game. Raids, among other activities, will help with this. Number 3, raids. Speaking of raids, your crew will assist you in including fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo. All of them will always be beside you during these raids when you're raiding towns, villages, cities, all this stuff. Number 4, alliance map. This alliance map serves as a record of your allies you have made and guide for the future opportunities that you may encounter and see in the game. Number 5, alliances. Forging alliances with other rulers and characters affects your settlement growth depending on your choices you make. Number 6, choices. Now, as I mentioned before, choices affect your alliances, which then in turn impact your settlement. The choices feature from Odyssey is making a comeback, and looks like Ubisoft is trying to expand upon it. From IGN's hands-on impressions, it is explained that in an assault mission, you are given a choice, for example, if an enemy will die or live. And if you let the enemy live, he comes back at a wedding for revenge, which gives you another choice to fight on behalf of your new ally or let him fight for himself. It's still unclear how much of these choices are in the game and what different impacts they could have on the overall story. So we will have to wait and see if Ubisoft can deliver a more Dragon Age or Witcher 3 experience when it comes to choices. Number 7, largest variety of enemy types. So the devs are really going all out for this when it comes to enemies, offering unique challenges such as coordinating with their allies for special attacks or using nearby objects including dead bodies to throw at you. Yes, enemies will throw dead bodies at you. This possibly could make it more like a Soulsborne style of game, at least when it comes to boss fights, due to enemies having a variety of strengths and weaknesses. Number 8, new brutal combat abilities. Yes, when I was checking this out, I was just amazed at the new combat in this game and style of combat they're doing with a more brutal approach that kind of reminds me a little of God of War a little bit. So this includes Viking harpoons, throwing Viking axes, and a new stun system which allows you to follow up with a brutal finisher. You can also dual wield any 2 weapons of your choice, even 2 shields. Number 9, health. Health does not regenerate automatically like in previous games. You must hunt or fish for food to make into rations to replenish your health. Number 10, stun. So as I mentioned before earlier, there's like a new stun system in the game. This new fun mechanic introduced in Valhalla allows you to finish off enemies in epic fashion. Enemies in Valhalla have stun meters, and with how different enemy types will be in this game, you will be encouraged to stun enemies when surrounded by a crowd of them, for example, just to make it easier, just to thin them out and stuff like that, as well as maybe focus on the stun when it comes to bosses too. Number 11, exploration. So specifically to exploration, they talk about searching pagan temples and ruins for new challenges and opportunities to strengthen yourself and your settlement. So much like Origins, you'll be going to these ruins and certain places, you know, like how in Origins was the pyramids and other temples. Odyssey, similar thing, temples and other places you have to go to where you get a free XP point for finding a certain object or item in that place. So that's what I'm thinking along the lines this is, as well as there's going to be other stuff in here that we can explore. Number 12, power level. So instead of doing a traditional level system like in the previous 2 entries, Ubisoft has now implemented a power level mechanic which will be determined by the skills and abilities you've unlocked and gear and weapons you have equipped while still maintaining the loot-driven RPG route. Number 13, assaults. Massive assaults at that. Valhalla features these amazing assaults in which you lead Ivor's army into battle against Saxon fortresses, and usually these will end up with you going into a boss fight, finding a character, and as I mentioned before, there is an example of you basically defeating a boss and having the choice of where they live or die, and you have to basically deal with the consequences of that. Number 14, upgraded Animus. So the devs were talking about new narrative elements from the Animus being provided for lore justifications for the new gameplay possibilities. Specifically, the ability to switch the gender of the player at will, as well as bring modern day protagonist Layla into historical open world. Number 15, playing as Layla in this Viking era. So as I mentioned before, yeah, one of the devs here for this game, Valhalla's narrative director, Darby McDevitt, explains that, and I'm quoting him, there are anomalies inside the simulation, and when you find them as Ivor, Layla and her handlers will pause the simulation, which sets up this big thing for her to deal with. Basically, lots of intense puzzle solving and parkour so that you can acquire a bit of interesting data and then close the rift. Number 16, stealth. Yes, stealth is making a little bit of a comeback here. It hasn't been too prominent in the past 2 entries. We've been allowed to kind of just go all in and just battle it out with enemies, stuff like that, and not really be forced to do stealth unless we want to do stealth. So stealth is back in a limited small way, it seems, where often you will need to blend in with the crowd to get past guards when entering a city. This is called social stealth, which has been in past games of Assassin's Creed before they went the RPG route. And finally, number 17, release date. Some of you may be wondering, well, when is this game coming out? Did they announce a release date? Yes, they did. So Ubisoft stated that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PS5 and Xbox Series X this year, November 17th, which also gives us an idea of when PS5 and Xbox Series X will release. So that has been my 17 things you need to know about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As I said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you'd like for me to do more of these types of videos in the future, please drop a like and comment below and subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, listening, all that good stuff. My name's Mike, and I'll see you next time.